Howdy, folks. Okay, now I'm going to try to make a short video. Pause for laughter for people who are familiar with me. Just about anxiety. Because tomorrow, in 24 hours, I'm going to be face down on a table, getting my knee that I've been suffering with for over 3 years worked on. It's going to try to drain the Baker's cyst and shoot it up with cortisone, so it should be no big deal, you know. That anxiety doesn't play that way. Anxiety is the whole point of anxiety, I think, is that it's illogical. It's like I can remember being so nervous before a trip to Lake Erie. Best friend, brother, the best friend's been on the lake 50 times, is an absolute master boatsman, and I can only sleep an hour and a half the night before because of anxiety. I have no reason to be anxious. So for me, anxiety has to be illogical to be true anxiety. If if you got a grizzly bear running around outside and you're worried about it, that's not anxiety. Anxiety is like that generalized feeling of unease and worry over things that we'll call them lucky folks rather than normal or regular people don't think about. Like, I'm talking maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago, I would put off making phone calls to agencies and stuff just because of anxiety over making a phone call. When I would go to school, I would have so much trouble sleeping, I'd be falling asleep in school because I would have anxiety the night before about what might happen in school. It's school. What's going to happen in school? So, um, to me, anxiety, it has to not make any sense. It has to be like illogical. If it's logical, you know, it's not anxiety. But I think it's illogical for me to worry about what's going to happen to me tomorrow because I already know what's going to happen. It's not going to be a big deal. The implications of it's a big deal as far as whether it'll help my knee or not, or whether, you know, it'll help me with my walking, which I'm having trouble with. Whether I'll be able to clean up, you know, this place. And if this is the first time you're looking at me, I'm shirtless because of a disease I have. It's not by choice. It's not because I'm a slob or a slovenly person. I actually, when my leg was working, kept a pretty neat house and kept the dishes out of the sink. That kind of, not like a neat freak, but I kept things clean. And yeah, this place is a nightmare now because I got a bad leg and I live alone. But yeah, I've had anxiety my whole life. It's just like it's gotten better. And then I started to have more physical problems. And then, like, it was like I flashed back to when I was a kid, when I was worried over making phone calls and worried over everything, just like a bundle of nerves. Um, and then, like, my question is like what you do to deal with anxiety if you have generalized anxiety. Now, some of the things I do is, first of all, masturbation. Truth is the truth, man. To mellow me out, that mellows me out. So if even it, that's not a pleasant thought. Of course, my ass talking about that, but that's I'm an honest sort. That you know, me and Ernest Borgnine. And if you don't know about Ernest Borgnine, he's like 90 freaking years old. And they ask him like, how do you remain so like vital and healthy? And they asked him like, you look like in great shape for somebody in their 90s. He said, I don't really want to say. And then he whispered in somebody's ear, not understanding that their microphone was right here. And he says, I masturbate a lot. look that up. That's fact. And it's probably on here somewhere on YouTube. But anyways, so yeah, that mellows me out. So if I had a partner, yeah, a nice healthy sex life is probably good for anxiety. Uh, but what I do the night before I have to do something hard is I do everything the day before. Like I write a list of the things that I need to do, the things I need to have, the things I need to take with me to my appointment, my trip, or whatever it is that's bothering me. And you know, the information that I need, and I write it all out. I get my clothes all out ahead of time so that the next day when I wake up, I don't have to do anything but clean myself up, maybe get a shave, and I'm good to go. So, you know, thing about anxiety is like we all know that there's things in this world we can't control. If you live in an apartment like me, you know this very well. I can't control how the neighbors behave, and we all know that the universe seems kind of fickle in its behavior as far as what might happen. But we can't control that. We can only control the things that we can control. And so I sort of take another view too. Is like I had an emergency room visit on Sunday. So I told myself, and this is not a pleasant, I knew it wasn't going to be a pleasant emergency room visit. It's like, no matter what happens here, I'm going to be home and I'm going to be locking the key in my own house, in my own door, in my own safe space. And that helps. I'm like, whatever happens here, however long I'm here, and I was there 4.5 hours in the emergency room when I should have been there for 2, and things went poorly, and I had got a painful condition which they didn't even bother to give me any pain medication for at all. And I'm already there 4.5 hours, and they're saying like, oh, we can. I ticked off the doctor. Let's just be honest. I'm an off-putting person. I'm not a likable guy. And I ticked off the doctor, and it happens. I never saw the guy again. He sent an underling in to see me because he just didn't like me, and I'm used to people not liking me. So, but I'm not used to people sadistically punishing me by not giving me pain medication for a horrifyingly painful medical condition of any kind. Not even a token Motrin like they do at the dentist. You get a tooth pulled at the dentist, and they'll sometimes just give you some Motrin for it. They won't give you any of the good stuff nowadays because of the drug climate's different now. Um, so they're like real stingy with any of the opiates or any of the synthetic stuff that is sellable or abusable. Now, I would be remiss, even though this is approaching the 10-minute mark, to not say that my anxiety from when I was a youth, when I used to have trouble just going to school, and where I was just like a nervous wreck all the time. Um, I kind of like got a flashback from it when I started having a lot of physical problems. So, unfortunately for me, I discovered benzodiazepines and Xanax, and then my doctor prescribed them for me. I started taking them every day, and of course, I got physically dependent on them, and I'm getting weaned off of them now. And I have this, which is a bottle of diazepam, uh, which I haven't taken today, um, but I'll be taking that tomorrow before my trip with my knee. Once my knee gets straightened around, I have 90 Xanax laying around this place. I've had to go to emergency room visits. I have horribly painful medical conditions, and I have a very stressful family life and very stressful living situation. And the landlord, it doesn't seem to care that I have an 8-foot hole in my wall for 3 months in the wintertime in Ohio. So, I got plenty of reason to like revert back to the Xanax, but I haven't. So that's part of my past. If it's just part of my past. So same thing will happen with the Valium. That's what they do, is they taper you down from the Xanax to the Valium. And same thing will happen to the Valium, is it will be a thing of the past. Um, Once I can take care of myself again properly, and, you know, I get my leg fixed, which it's a fixable thing. I mean, it's a treatable thing. So, but right now, though, walking's dangerous. What happened to me personally is I got raised in a certain way, which with a lot of trauma and around in a scary environment, we'll put it, and that's why I have generalized anxiety. So, um, yeah. So that's my question though, is how you deal with it. I told you how I deal with it is I think of that key in the door. It's like whatever happens tomorrow with my knee, I'm going to be putting that key in my door and coming home and be in my safe space, and where I have control of things, and I'll lay everything out. That's the two things. I get everything ready that I can get ready. I can control what I can control, and I think, like, no matter what happens, I'm going to be able to. I'll be home, no matter, and I've been through things before, so, but anxiety is such a demon. It's such a monster that it just doesn't make any sense a lot of times. It's like, why do I have this thing? Why would I be anxious over this? So, you know, it's not a logical thing a lot of times. So the the way I deal with it, again, control what I can control. Understand that there's going to be things in the world that I can't control, and try to accept that. And I understand also that I'm going to be putting that key in that lock, and I'm going to be in my safe space no matter what happens tomorrow with the knee. But I would be interested in hearing what anybody had to say about how they deal with their anxiety. Um, Maybe I can learn something. I don't know if I could teach anybody anything about, how to deal with something as difficult as a generalized anxiety. Because, I used to look at the kids in school, and I would be like, what would it be like to be like that? Look at that guy over there. He's just laughing and relaxed, and he looked like he don't have a care in the world. And I'm over here worried about every damn thing. And, yeah. But any input would be appreciated. And, yeah, for me, this is a short video. So, yeah, I'm just interested in anybody that has any opinions on it. Uh, Tell me what you do to deal with it. And maybe I can learn something that would be helpful. And, yeah, it's a terrible way to live. It's a terrible way to have to live. I mean, I don't really think that, I think that the medications they give you and stuff, a lot of times they do more harm than good. I think the best way to deal with it is to express yourself and to be proactive, and, you know, can if you have problems, don't repress your emotions. If you have like problems with people, just talk about it with them if you can. Um, don't put off doing things that you need to do, because that just makes things worse. Um, that's about the only advice I can give. But I'm more interested in getting help and hearing what you have to say uh, about it, or how you deal with it, or how you get your mind in a good place. Yeah, any help you can give me, any advice, I'm all ears. And anybody that helps or comments, thank you for taking the time. Goodbye.